All right, let's talk about the media civil war that just absolutely exploded inside Fox News. It's all about the legacy of one man, and trust me, it is getting messy. We're going to break down exactly what's going on.
And I'm not kidding, this is so much more than just a little disagreement. We are talking about a full-blown, on-air battle, complete with brutal takedowns and accusations. This is a fight over who gets to write history, and it's happening right in front of our eyes.
Okay, before we get into all the juicy details, you know the drill. Go on, smash that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. All set? Awesome. Let's dive in.
So, where did this whole firestorm even begin? Well, it all kicked off with one Fox News host, a single sentence, and a legacy that was being very carefully built right before it was shattered into a million pieces.
Yep, that's it. That is the one sentence that lit the whole fuse. Howard Kurtz, who's been a host at the network forever, just says it right on his show Media Buzz. Now, to you and me, that might sound, well, kind of obvious. But in this specific context, it was like dropping a match in a gas station.
And just so we're all on the same page, who was Charlie Kirk? He was a massive figure on the far right, hugely influential, but also, deeply controversial. After he was tragically murdered at a campus event, his supporters were mourning him in a huge way and pretty much lionizing him.
Okay, so the backlash for Kurtz saying this, it was immediate. And get this, it came from inside the building. We're not talking about critics from other networks. This was straight up friendly fire.
And leading the charge was none other than his Fox News colleague, Greg Gutfeld. He just drops this absolute bomb on social media. I mean, it's witty, it's brutal, and it is a direct shot at his own coworker. Savage is right. But here's where it gets even crazier. There's a hidden layer to Gutfeld's comment that just makes it so much more vicious.
See, here's the kicker. Gutfeld knew that Kurtz's show, Media Buzz, had just been canceled. That episode was its final one, so Kurtz literally couldn't tune in next week for a clarification. Gutfeld was using insider network info for a remarkably sharp public takedown. Ouch.
So you have to ask yourself, right? Why would Kurtz even risk this? Was he just trying to stir the pot? Well, as it turns out, he was pointing directly to Charlie Kirk's own very public record.
Let's look at that record. This is one of the big things Kurtz actually mentioned on his show. Back in 2023, Kurt had argued that gun deaths were essentially an acceptable price to pay, a prudent deal in his words, to protect the Second Amendment.
And his rhetoric definitely didn't stop there. He also made these incredibly inflammatory statements about race, promoting this idea of, quote, prowling blacks who go around hunting white people just for fun. And then there's this one, calling for Nuremberg-style trials, like the Nazi trials, for doctors who provide gender-affirming care. So this is the record Howard Kurtz was pointing to.
Okay, so when you see a record like that, you might be a little surprised by the official narrative that started taking shape. A very, very different image of Charlie Kirk was being cemented in the public mind.
And this is really the heart of the whole conflict. On one side, you have this official image, the true friend, the hero who ran a good race, the Medal of Freedom winner. And on the other side, you have the actual record. The question becomes, how do you bridge that gap?
Well, it almost looks like a PR playbook for how to make a martyr. Step 1, the tragic death. Step 2, a massive global wave of grief. Step 3, that grief gets amplified by praise from really high-profile figures. And Step 4, the grand finale. You solidify it with the nation's highest civilian honor. And we're not talking about small endorsements here. You've got President Trump awarding him the Medal of Freedom posthumously. You have Vice President J.D. Vance calling him a true friend, and his widow declaring that his movement will live on like a battle cry. The full-blown canonization is in effect. Which brings this whole firestorm down to one massive question, doesn't it? What actually defines a person's legacy? Is it the reality of their words and their actions? Or is it the powerful story that gets told about them after they're gone?
So what do you think is going on here? Is this a deserved tribute or just a massive, deliberate rebranding campaign? I really want to know what you think, so jump down into the comments and let me know. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.